I'm Tyler with Lions Pride Insurance. Today we're going to be talking about employer benefits, all the benefits as an employer, and also the benefits that the employees get, obviously. So, exciting stuff. But basically, we're going to try and break it down, make it as simple as possible, um, and then also show how it's a lot easier than a lot of people think. Anyways, we'll dive right into it. Okay. So, going into the first chunk here, offering benefits is it feels very complicated because there's so many different routes you can go. Everyone feels like the first step is offering health insurance, and that's just not the case. A lot of times you can start by offering a lot of other more cost-effective ways. But if you are to the point where offering full traditional health insurance or group benefits is a benefit, then you can also do it that way, and there are tons of tax savings with it. If you're to the point of doing that, then you're looking at, okay, how are we offering this in a way that's cost effective for us, but is also a benefit to the employees? The employees are who are hopefully building your business for you. So that's really where we come in and show you, okay, here is what they're looking for. Here's some of the doctors and hospitals that they're needing. And here is some ways that we can provide that as something that's more cost effective for you. So big things, like I said, cost effectiveness, maximize any tax savings you can get, still be able to offer really good benefits to your employees, but not have to pay so much in taxes. And then on the employee side, making sure that they are getting some of their needs taken care of. Usually it's a great thing to them. I can't think of how many times I have seen employees come to us as a health insurance agency and say, hey, my employer's offering this benefit. Is it worth taking, or is it too expensive? Should I go with the marketplace, or should I stick with this? And we'll give them a breakdown. Oops, sorry, I think we had a bit of a cutout there. But anyways, we'll give them a breakdown of all their different options on the employee side and say, yeah, it's totally worth going with the employer plan because your employer pays a lot towards it and these are really good benefits. Or we also have a lot of times where we say, you know what, this is pretty expensive. It's probably not worth taking. It might be easier going with the marketplace or something like that. So this is a great way to help retain those employees that are really, really good at what they do. If you've got people in your business that you just cannot function without them, and it would cost way too much to try and replace them, train somebody else up to do that, this is a great way to say, hey, we appreciate what you do. We want to give you something that takes care of you and your family so that you stay with us for as long as you possibly can. Anyways, yeah. And so then going to the next couple. So it expands access. So a lot of people really struggle to find coverage both at an affordable price and that takes care of their family in the way they need to. If they are, let's say, on Medicaid and things that have smaller networks, they may have a harder time finding something that is going to take care of their family in the way they want them to. A lot of times they're just kind of pushed around to whoever is on network. But if you can provide something that really takes care of them on a broader scale and gives them options, they're going to appreciate that. And kind of reiterating, it creates that strong commitment from people that they are going to be staying with you long term. There's a lot of times, again, that I've talked with employees of companies and they've said, oh, you know what, we've thought about changing jobs and things like that, but this one just offers such great benefits that I don't feel like it would be worth moving. So that's, another thing there. So, okay, moving along, talking more about what we do as health insurance brokers and as consultants with you. There are a lot of reports and things like that that do come with that, but most of them you don't have to worry about as a small employer. Large employers, that's kind of a different story, but that's if you have 50 or more employees. There's more reporting that goes with that. But again, if you're working with us, we help you with those reportings, whether you have to do those or whether you don't. If you're a small employer, there's still a lot of things that you want to make sure that you have lined up to make the process a lot more simple. So having technology that helps kind of structure that for you and says, for instance, the enrollment process requires getting a lot of data from your employees and then giving that data to the carrier in a format that their computers can read. So again, that's what we're here for. We make sure that we gather that information in whatever ways possible, make it as simple as we can for you guys, and then we give that to the carrier and make sure it's in the format that they want. Along with that comes automated workflows and ways to track compliance. Compliance is a big thing. Anyone who's in HR knows that doing things the right way is a lot better than trying to do it as quickly and as cheaply as possible. Doing things the right way keeps you from getting in trouble as an employer. It also is recognized by employees as you're trying to do the right thing for the right reasons. You're not just trying to save a couple of dollars. So, anyways, yeah. So, that's that. We provide a lot of technology ourselves through platforms like Employee Navigator and Benefit Sculptor. There's a few others that we've worked with in the past. And if you have your own that you're currently working with, usually we can jump in and help with that platform that you're currently using. That way you don't have to make any big changes. There are a lot of payroll platforms like Gusto and Rippling. There's a few others out there that people are using a lot. But those kinds of platforms usually have ways that you can integrate your health insurance into it. We can help that process get set up so that there's not a lot of work on your side. You just run payroll like normal, and that's it. that's all there is to it. And then with that, there's a lot of things you can do to make sure that you're looking at the proper data yourself. Small employers, some of those tools aren't as cost effective for you. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So it depends a lot on your situation. But for some small employers, it doesn't make sense to be paying a lot more for a platform that can do all that when if you've only got 5 or 6 people on a plan, it's pretty easy to just run the report, type it in yourself. But that varies a lot based on a business's situation. So again, that's what we're here for, is to make sure that you have the information you need to make those decisions on, is it worth having this kind of support in terms of technology, in terms of platforms that you pay for versus platforms that are free to use. And again, some of those costs that need to be factored in is, as an employer, you do have to pay 50% of the lowest cost option offered to employees. And so as an employer, you're required to look at it and say, this plan is what we want to offer, and it's excuse me, it might be a higher cost option, but we excuse me, I need to take a drink of water here. As an employer, you're required to offer or pay for 50% of the lowest cost option for employees. If you're offering just bronze plans, that can be pretty low cost. I still recommend, though, because a bronze plan, obviously this varies a lot, but it can even be less than $800 per month. Sometimes a bronze plan can be as cheap as $600 per employee per month. We did one recently that was about what it came up to. However, as an employer, that typically means that you're offering a plan with very low benefits. For instance, like an HSA plan. It's a lot cheaper. And as an employer, if you can say, hey, we are offering the lowest cost option here, but we're putting that extra $300 into an HSA. They recognize that as you trying to not only offer them a benefit, but offer them something that's customized to them and their needs. Hopefully it is customized to their needs again. They will recognize that, hey, this money that's in the HSA, I can use to continue growing if I don't need it. And if I do need it, it will just save me more money as I use it throughout the year. So a lot of options there, but we help you manage those costs, kind of understand, okay, this is the process for signing people up, and this is what we want to offer. So we can start with that, and as we grow, then we can make adjustments that meet our needs better and our employees' needs better. So we simplify all the administration. We try to use platforms that combine them all into one place. Again, that's why I mentioned like payroll platforms are great for managing that, because those payroll platforms make that process as easy as signing somebody up, or as easy as setting somebody up on payroll. I know there's a lot of platforms where as soon as you add somebody on there, it's just a check mark. Does this person qualify for health benefits? Yes or no? If they do, great. Let's get them enrolled, and they'll take care of that for you. A lot of smaller employers, though, they prefer to use like the carrier provided option, which is a free option, so you don't pay any more for it. And that can also be about that simple with our processes, where when you hire someone on, it may not be automated, but we can help you set up something so that when you add a new person to your payroll, that it gives you a reminder. It does something to remind you, hey, make sure you also send their information to Lions Pride Insurance, and then we add them for you. You don't have to worry about that kind of paperwork, as long as you can get us the bare minimum information that we need. So, and then talking a little bit about additional benefits, we take care of health, dental, and vision. There's a few other things that we take care of that are more specific, but there's a lot of employers that also want to offer things like life insurance and 401ks and things like that. We have somebody that we work with his name is Michael Rich, and he is phenomenal with that. He really works with employers and employees, again, to find affordable options that are worth getting, to get the best bang for your buck there. Because if you're providing a benefit for those employees, and again, if it's just to say that you have it and it's the cheapest thing available, they're typically going to recognize that. But if you can find someone that provides a good quality product, something to help your money grow as efficiently as possible, people are going to recognize that. So, and there's a lot of options in terms of how you want to structure those benefits. Some employers will say, I want to do the bare minimum. And again, that bare minimum is 50% of the lowest cost option that is offered, and it's the employee only option. So even if they've got their whole family on there, we can set it up so it's just the employee portion that you're paying, and that can save you a lot in costs. However, there are a lot of employers that want to do it a million different ways and say, we want to pay for 100% of the employee portion. We can set it up for that way. Or they'll say, we want to pay for 50% of the whole family. You can do it that way. I've even seen some that say, we'll do 75% of the whole family. That's a great, very rich benefit that employees recognize and really appreciate, and they will stick with you for a long time if you have a benefit like that. But offering something like that, we can make that a lot simpler by saying, here's how it's structured. You can even structure it based on managers get one percentage, and admin gets another percentage, and then ground floor workers, they get a different percentage. So there's a lot of very flexible ways to structure that. And some plans like dental and vision and a lot of other options, you don't even have to contribute anything. You can just say, as an employer, we offer this because we have so many employees on it, we get a cheaper group rate, and that allows you to get something that you couldn't get by yourself on the marketplace, but get it at a cheaper price as well. So a lot of benefits to doing it that way. And then our fees, we don't charge any fees ourselves. There are a few things that we can set you up with to make it an easier process by doing things like different softwares and things like that to manage those processes. But if you want to do it a low cost option, there are no fees. The way that we get paid is when you sign up for a plan and you pay your premium, the insurance company is going to charge you the same whether you have an agent or not. And again, this is with small employer. Large employer, it's a little bit of a different story, but very similar. And when you're signing up for that, if you have an agent, they're going to charge you the same price as if you didn't have an agent, but they're going to pay us from that, and that way they don't have to deal with as much customer service. You've got a main point of contact that we can go to the carriers. If you've got any issues with it, we can work on your behalf to say, hey, something's not right with this bill, or sometimes it's even claims that claims aren't being paid, and we can call the carrier and say, hey, this client has a claim. Let's say it's a prescription that's not being paid, but it's on your formulary. What's going on? They'll look it up and say, oh, looks like it just wasn't billed correctly, so we can go in and fix that. So different things like that, but there's no fee to that. As a brokerage, we do have a consultant's license, and that allows us to work for you in a different capacity, but we don't charge for that service. And so there's very, very specific situations where that comes up. Typically it's because you don't want us as an agent, and so it's a different capacity, but we don't charge any fees for you to use us as an agent, and that's a huge benefit to you. So I'm going to take a step back here and talk about a few of the companies that we've worked with, namely Blaine Evans Trucking and Summit Medical Spa are two amazing companies that we have worked with, and they have done a lot where, for instance, Blaine Evans Trucking, they offer a very rich benefit where they've got employees that have been working with them for years and years, and because they really value those employees, they offer this great benefit of the health insurance with dental and vision, and they pay for most of it as well. So that one is a situation where they have seen the benefits of offering a very good plan. They've had employees that have lasted with them a long, long time and kept very good talent there. Moving over to Summit Medical Spa, theirs is a very unique structure where they have a lot of employees that normally would not be able to get health insurance because of the industry that they're in, with a lot of their employees being 1099 contractors. And so most of their industry does not offer health insurance. They have found a great way to offer benefits to their employees that helps keep their employees healthy, keeps their families protected, and they have done a very good job as a company trying to do what's best for the employees rather than what is best for their bottom line. So they are a company that I love to work with because of that, the care that they have for those employees. And it shows. The employees recognize it, and they're often talking about how awesome it is to have them provide those benefits. So, all right. And then, again, just touching on some more things that we do. We are always here. You can text anyone on our call, or text anyone on our team, or email, whatever works best for you. But you can connect with any of us. We don't have specific people that you have to work with. If you want to work with a specific person, you're more than welcome to. But the way that our team works is that everyone on our team has access to be able to help you out. That way you never feel like you are talking to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. So, but that also allows us to then jump in, and whenever you need to make some changes, or let's say something about last year's plan you don't really like, we can get you a personalized quote and say, okay, you didn't like that aspect of it. Let's see if we can find a plan that's similar or even cheaper price, that has better benefits, and something that's more customized to you. We're often revisiting those options and making sure that it is the right fit for them. A lot of times we don't change anything because we try really hard the first time to get the right plan, but a lot of times plans also change, and so as changes happen throughout the year, we have to look at other options. So you can make sure that when you work with us, you're not worried about, well, do I need to submit this paperwork or this paperwork? We go through and we make sure that all of that is taken care of for you. We will have to ask you for certain documentation, and we'll touch on that in a second, but we will need to get certain documents from you, but we'll make sure that if there's any documents that need to be gathered for enrollment, we know what those are going to be typically ahead of time, and we can let you know, hey, this is something that's coming up. You've got a couple of weeks to submit it. And then typically anything that is going to be very urgent, we'll try to get from you ahead of time so that we have it ready and we can submit it for you. So that leads us into what do you actually need to get a quote and to get some real numbers of what your costs are going to be. So first off, we need a census. A census is just a spreadsheet of all your employees. We like to have their names at this point so that it helps us understand who is and who isn't getting coverage, but that's not required. The main things that are required is who is going, how many people is going to be on the plan, what is their age and gender. I take that back. We don't need the gender, just their age, and if we can, their birthday. That makes it easier. And their zip code is also required. And then obviously, if they're planning on getting coverage or if they're not, that is also helpful because the minimum group size for a traditional group plan, there's other options, but a traditional group plan, the minimum is 2 employees in a company. That can even be a husband and wife that are both employees or owner employees of the business. But with that, they will need to know if not everyone is getting coverage, we need to know, do they have a valid reason for other coverage, or are they just going without coverage? Those are participation rates, and we'll talk about those another time. But anyways, so that's the first thing that you need is that census. That allows us to go in and start running some quotes for you. It's helpful to know what the general budget is. If we know that you're planning on spending $1,000 per employee, we can show you both an HSA option and say, hey, this one's going to be cheaper. It might be closer to $600 or $800 per month, but you can put anywhere from $200 to $400 per month in an HSA. If we know that it's going to be a little bit more, like say $1,200 or $1,500, then we can start looking at some of those plans with much richer benefits and say, you can also offer a gold plan that's going to be more expensive. You may not be able to put anything into the HSA, but they're not going to pay anything when they go to the doctor, or they'll pay a $20 copay when they go to a specialist. Employees recognize the things that they use the most when it comes to health benefits. And so if it's doctor's visits and you can afford a plan that has very low cost for doctor's visits, they're going to recognize that. So it helps to know that ahead of time so that we can find, the best option for you. But we'll talk more about that as we go through the process with you. And then eventually we're going to need the payroll documentation. Basically, there are some forms that we have to have that show who all is on the payroll. So even if they're not full-time, if they're part-time or seasonal work, we have to know who all of them are. And then what we'll do is everyone that's full-time, we indicate that to the carrier, and then they know, okay, we have everyone on here, and if we don't have them on here, why are they not getting coverage? Again, it goes back to those participation rates that if you have ever run into that problem with your business, talk to us. If you don't have the participation numbers, there's a lot of other options that you can get, again, outside of traditional group insurance. But yeah. So anyways, this is the team that you'll be working with as you work with us. I'll go from left to right. We've got John, and then Jerry, Aubriana, Tyler Green, Ashlyn, and then myself, Tyler Moore. The 6 of us have been working together for quite a few years now, and we have created a lot of different systems and tools to make this whole process simpler for employers and make it something that is specifically beneficial to the employees in a way that's simple and affordable. Affordable, again, for both the employees and the employer. So, that's everything. I don't see anything other than some props in the comment, in the comment section there. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. There's a lot of different ways you can get a hold of us. Feel free to go onto our website. I did put in there a link that takes you to our website that you can get more resources in terms of what some of the different options are as an employer offering a traditional group plan versus something else. And then also feel free to schedule with us or give me a call or an email, text, whatever works best for you. Feel free to reach out to us and we can answer a lot more questions specific to your situation. So thank you for your time and have a good one.